Here's what happened. After my burnout in 2018, after that social media conference, I had a few years where I was just like trying to get by. Felt like that moment of like trying to keep your head above water. And I was working at an event venue with consulting for marketing. And then I was also teaching meditation classes. So for me, it was like this spaghetti phase. It was really messy trying to figure shit out. And I had a lot of in debt too that I was trying to figure out how I was going to pay back. But then the pandemic hit. And that created a lot of uncertainty for me, where I was already in a really tough place emotionally, and then financially I was really struggling. But then the event venue had to shut down, so I was really uncertain about how the hell I was going to make an income. And that is where I remember going to visit my parents, who are up in Maryland and in Charleston, South Carolina still. And that was a moment where I was like, I got to move back in with them. Like, I'm struggling right now really hard. I am not liking the thoughts that are coming up for me, and I'm feeling really isolated and feeling alone. So that's where I made the decision, in my late 20s, to like move back in with my parents. And there was a lot of guilt and shame that came up because of that. And that was one moment where I felt I lost my confidence. And the reason I tell you that is to tell you that you're not alone in this. And also, I'm here to tell you that you can bounce back after losing your confidence. This is Make Burnout Extinct. I'm Robert David Weeks. Thank you for taking the time to be here. I know there's a lot of things that could be happening right now, a lot of distractions that are out there. And so by you being here, that does say something. And we can get started actually with a deep inhale and exhale to get present in the space. So let's do that deep inhale through the nose. Oh, yeah. And then release it on out. I'm going to wiggle my body a little bit. Oh, yeah. There we go. Oh, man. All right. I like to say, you've had a lot of shit that's gotten you to this point. You got a lot of shit you probably got to deal with afterwards too. And a lot of people that you got to take care of. And a lot of responsibilities there. So I honor that. And if you are new here, welcome. You can subscribe and follow the show if you haven't done that already for the latest episodes. And I have a few commitments for you that I want to get into. First commitment is to continue to grow the show. So by you subscribing and following the show, it helps to honor that commitment and this movement that's being built around this one mission to make burnout extinct. The second commitment I have for you is to be honest with you, to share the full experience, the best of my ability of what it takes to make burnout extinct. Through my own personal experiences, through insights from other people, through what I can find for information out there. And with this, I think back to my own journey that led me to hitting burnout. There were so many moments that I lied along the way to hitting my burnout in 2018. It's one of the main reasons I think I hit my burnout after that social media conference where 500 people came together, because I thought I had to be perfect. I had a lot of the shoulds going on of like, how should I show up for this person or this community or my team? And because of that, I wasn't able to tell what was going on, how I was feeling, the mistakes I was making, asking for feedback and insights. I just felt I couldn't do that. And because of that, there was this pressure that was building inside of me. And it created a lot of unnecessary pain and suffering that I wouldn't want on anyone else. And because of that, it made honesty a really core value of mine, something that I strive for. And again, perfection doesn't exist, but I want the best of my ability for you to be honest with you, to share with you not just the results of what happens when you make burnout extinct, which for the three simplest forms is to feel more energized in your day, to feel that connection to the aliveness of life, so that you aren't just going through your motions in the day and just getting through the day, and connecting to that excitement of the momentum that's being built for the vision you have for your life. It's that and the behind the scenes hard work, the effort, putting the reps in. When you get off track, recognizing what comes up for you for body sensations and emotions, if that's anger, if that's frustration, guilt, honoring all of that. And then remember you can move through it and get back on track. And burnout doesn't happen overnight. And your body's giving you these signals. And so it's recognizing these signals and making changes to your behaviors, to your habits, and having what I call burnout proof habits that are energizing and recharging for you so that you can move towards making burnout extinct. And what I want to tell you too is that making burnout extinct is absolutely possible for you. You have the capabilities as a human being to listen to those signals and to make those changes. It's just whether we choose to or not. And it comes back to perfection doesn't exist. You'll have those moments where you get off track, but it's about getting back on track and continuing in your own journey. So thank you for being here, for being a part of this movement. Let's get into it for today. Today, what I want to do for you is go through an entire or go through the body scan for the rest of the time, and to help deal with the situation that you're in right now, where you could be feeling a lot of anger, pissed off, frustrated, uncertainty, confusion for how you bounce back after losing your confidence. And so I want to take us through that journey for you, because when you lose your confidence, what can come up, I know it happened for me, is that you can try to suppress the feelings that bubble up and these emotions, or you can try to ignore your body or try to disconnect. And that can be a few ways you could do that. For me, my go-to is numbing, like I numb out the sensations, and that can cause me to freeze and feel stuck. And that might be something that you're dealing with right now, is feeling stuck, feeling like, is this going to be the rest of my life? And what I want to tell you is it's not going to be the rest of your life. This is a phase in the journey. It is a temporary phase. And I go back to this quote, Alex Ramones, that really helped me, which is that now is not forever. And that's a reminder for you of where you're at right now and what the hell is going on. So you could be one where you numb, and no one could be like running away, feeling like you got to run away from all these different situations. And no one could be fighting, like battling it on out. And all those are different stress responses from the body to try to deal with the situation that you're in, of feeling like you've lost your confidence. And this is something I want to get into, is that you haven't lost your confidence. It's just you've forgotten that it's there, because it is right there for you to tap into and connect back into, for you to move forward in your life. So to get started for the body scan, you can take a deep inhale through the nose. So let's do that together. And release on out through the mouth. Get settled in the space that you're in. If you are driving, keep your eyes open. If you're walking or out and about, like, keep your eyes open too. You can still go through the awareness recognition as well. So here we go. What we're going to do is, as you continue to breathe in and breathe out, we're going to bring our awareness up to our head. And I'm going to bring my hands on up here and just take a moment to notice sensations that are coming up for you. Remembering, why are you here? Why did you click on this? Because probably what's happening is you're having one or two experiences recently, perhaps, that are coming up for you for where you felt you've lost your confidence, which, again, I'll remind you, is just you forgot about your confidence. It's still there. So as you notice, what are some of the tingles? Are there tingles that you notice? What are some of the other sensations? As you continue to breathe in and breathe out, bringing your awareness there. You can even notice if you move on down to your ears, if you could like wiggle, you can move your jaw a little bit. Oh man, you might even yawn like I am. And you can bring your hands on down to your chin, and just noticing any of those sensations that come up. Going down to your throat. And just being here as you keep taking a deep inhale and exhaling. Going at your own pace. And what I want you to do is bring back that memory. What is that experience for you where you felt you lost your confidence? Was that what someone told you? Did someone say something to you that really caused you to question your capabilities, your skill set? Maybe it was wanting to step up on stage and communicate your ideas, your vision to the group, and then you just didn't feel like you could do it, and you held yourself back. Maybe it was an opportunity for a big work project and you missed it. Maybe it was wanting to meet someone that you really admire and connect with, and wanted to have that conversation, but you chose to hold yourself back and not do that. Whatever those different situations are that are coming up for you where you felt you've lost your confidence, take a moment to bring one into focus, to notice what was coming up for you in that moment. And so as we continue to be reminded of that, you can bring back your awareness on down to your shoulders. You may notice your shoulders are super tense. So you just let them drop a little bit, drop them on down. I feel it in my shoulders. Like, damn, man. Like, I'm just like, my shoulders, that's where I get a lot of tension too that come up. So bringing your shoulders on down and getting settled. And bringing your awareness to what are sensations that you notice in the body right now. Do you notice anger that's building? Frustration, guilt, shame, neutral. Maybe there's nothing here for sensations, an emptiness. But what is that? Because I come back to the more you understand something, less fear can grow. And so having that awareness and understanding of the patterns is really important for when you feel you've lost your confidence. Because then you don't take it so personally. And then it becomes a lot easier to get out of it and to move forward. When you can recognize, oh, this is just how I feel when I've lost my confidence. Or again, as your reminder, when you forgot your confidence. So just notice those sensations. Take a moment to like be with it as you continue to breathe in and breathe out. You can notice as you bring your awareness down to your chest. You can notice any tensions, maybe any tightness. There could be some muscle tightness here. I have that sometimes in my chest, around my heart. This closed off feeling, this armor that can build. It's this feeling like, okay, you got to be on for everyone else. You got to take care of everyone else, right? Like that could be something you're dealing with. Is like, I got to bounce back because I want to take care of other people in my life. I want to support my community, support my team, the people that work with me, my partner, my family. I see you. And I know that there can be a lot of emotions that bubble up with that we can want to suppress and be like, fuck, I don't want to deal with this right now. But it's honoring them, because when we can honor them, we can get the message in those emotions. Something that was taught to me by John Butcher, someone I admire, of understanding those messages so that we can make those changes for the messages that are coming through in our behavior and in our habits. So as you continue to breathe in and breathe out, noticing sensations, understanding those patterns that could be coming up for you right now. And then bringing your awareness down to your arms. Coming back to connecting back to your body, your biceps. I learned one new muscle group, the brachialis in the arm. Thought it was super cool. Bring it on down for your awareness to your wrists. You can be able to move your hands, your fingers, wiggle your fingers. It's like, think back to spirit fingers. Here we go. And it's coming back to that reminder that you don't have to go finding your confidence. It's not like Austin Powers where it's like, I lost my mojo. It's the best accent I got right now for you. It's not about finding, but it's about remembering. Remembering the confidence within you. And so as you continue to breathe in and breathe out, what I want you to do is come back to a moment where you did feel that confidence. You had those wins. You had those moments of excitement. This confidence of boldness to like step into something that you wanted to do, to move forward into something that you wanted to do. What could be a moment that could come up for you? You may have to think way back. There hasn't been one recently. And I see you. I acknowledge you if that's the case. I want to remind you you're not alone either, because we all have those days that stack up where it's like nothing's working out for us and we're losing confidence in our ability to move forward. Maybe we aren't being able to know where the next big project is for work. Maybe we're really having a hard time to articulate the words of how we're really feeling to our partner or to ourselves. Maybe we're just like feeling like we are going through those motions, right? And that can be, we can lose confidence in, and I want to remind you, we can forget the confidence that we can actually get through this. So come back to those moments. This is where comparison is so helpful. Compare ourselves in those moments where we did feel confident. And as you bring back your awareness to your body, let's come on back to the stomach. Noticing any tension, changes, tightness. emptiness? What's happening for you? Connecting back to those feelings. And with confidence, how I think about confidence is the ability to handle the challenges that come your way. We can have more confidence in certain areas of our life and less confidence in others, but it's the ability to handle those challenges that come your way. And such a powerful and deep level of confidence is coming back to the body, confidence within the body. And what I want to let you know about is that your body is on your team. There's nearly 40 trillion cells doing the damn thing, taking care of you, letting you know about these signals that are coming up of these changes. That's where we can call them symptoms. That's where we can call them reactions. That's where we can call these tornado thoughts that come up, where we go down these spirals. Like all of these, I come back to there's a reason behind them, is how I look at that. And it's a belief of mine. It's the body communicating with us. But we got to decide that we're going to actually listen and then recognize the message within those signals. So as you come on back, let's move on down to the legs, the inner groin, thighs, moving down the knees. Bringing your awareness to notice any tingles, pressures, tension. What's here? As you move on down to your calves, you can then get to the ankles, toes, wiggle them up a little bit, and just get settled. What we're going through right now is a way that you can move through this to bounce back. It's connecting back to your body. It's not suppressing the emotions that bubble up, but honoring them, noticing what are the messages within it, and then moving through it. So as you just continue to breathe in and breathe out, take awareness of your whole body. Take the big picture in. Have this moment to just breathe in and breathe out. And I want to share with you some strategies that you can implement right now, right after this conversation, to build that momentum of bouncing back. The first one is coming back to the message in the emotions. What is the emotions trying to tell you? If it was someone saying something to you that caused you to lose confidence in your skills, it's remembering, does this person have good intention when they said that? Was this person genuinely looking out for me? Was this person coming from a place where they don't have the knowledge or the skill set to even make the comment? This is where you can bring critical thinking into it. Bring common sense into that situation so that you can give some space to it and notice if you're taking it. Because again, we can want to really take it personally for all this stuff. It can feel like the world is ending when we lose our confidence in certain moments. I get dramatic. I get really intense with it at times, and that I've had to work on. And so I can get it. And what I want to remind you is that we can create space here and see it for what it is. And this is your space to be able to do that. That's a great way to start to move through it as you're connected with your body, as you're breathing in and breathing out. It's so interesting too, because we can get caught up in thinking that we're not ever going to have these moments again. And it's just not true. You will have moments where you are going to be growing into new levels of life. I think about that as levels in a video game. We're going to have to battle the boss, and that is a challenge that you have to face. And there is going to be moments where you're moving into these new levels where you do lose the confidence, where you forget about the confidence. And that is a reminder for you that it's going to happen. And there's so many moments in the past. I think about that for moving back in with my parents. I think about it when I lost my health insurance because I couldn't pay those bills. I remember when I had a virtual workshop where no one showed up. Like there are so many of these moments I look back on and I'm like, damn, yeah, those are some moments where I lost my confidence. But I bounced back. I was able to get through it. And that's a reminder for you is you can get through this and you can move through it. The human body is badass. Like, to think of the odds of you being born 1 in 400 trillion, I mean, every day is an epic gift. And I know that there are those days where it's back to back to back, where it's just like, damn, dude, like it's just not going my way. And I hear you. And it's a moment to honor that because it happens. And nobody's perfect. Perfection doesn't exist. But you can focus on your best and you can focus on getting back on track. So as you continue to breathe in and breathe out, coming back to the breath, just noticing what comes up as I'm sharing all these things. How you can continue to move through this after you understand and can see the situation for what it is noticing what is the behavior or the habits that I can put more effort towards. Where can I put my energy towards? Is that improving a skill set? Is that it having a follow-up conversation? Is that courageously moving forward and taking action on something? What is that? Because when you can identify that, that can be the North Star that you're moving towards. And if it feels like a lot of energy and effort required in that, and you're not there yet, to take that action and to make those changes or to put more effort in a certain direction, what you can come back to is start small. Start small for creating small wins for yourself. And it's so interesting. I think back to the movie Lord of the Rings. And it's Return of the King. If you're a fan of it, I'm going to try to explain it as if, especially if you haven't seen it before, I'll simplify it as much as possible. There's this end battle scene where you can think about it like it's these orcs, the bad guys are attacking this kingdom, this fortress, and then you have the good guys, the this other king. It's the kingdom of Rohan. So it's these knights. You can think about knights that are all lined up, and they look out on the battlefield and they see this big army out there attacking this kingdom. And so there's this epic speech from the king of Rohan, Theoden. He pumps. It gets me fired up. It makes me tear up. It's just powerful. It's this motivator of like, let's get after it. Like, let's go for it. And so they all charge and attack this other army. And as they're moving through the ranks, and it's like the horses, it's just like completely just getting after it and attacking and destroying the ranks. As they move through, what happens is then there's this new scene that pops up where there's this whole other army that's, with the bad guys. This whole other army comes up, and it's these big elephants. And they are coming in and they're attacking these knights. And so then the knights have to rally and go and attack this other army. And so it's this like back and forth and chaotic energy. And there's a lot of clashing going on. And then there's a whole other army that comes in that's for the good guys that comes in. And so what happens is there's this pendulum swing, right? This back and forth in your day, in your week, in your months, where you're going to have these big highs and ups, where you're feeling that confidence flowing through you. You feel like it's growing within you and you're able to get things done. And then there's going to be those other moments that come in where it's the pendulum swing the other way, of these low moments where you feel this anger and this frustration and this like, why the hell isn't this working? And that's where you can feel like you've, again, forgotten your confidence. And so it's reminding yourself that part of life is experiencing both of those and then the range in between, right? And so when you can be reminded of that, of remembering that it's natural to have these type of experiences, that can help you to also move through this. And it then comes back to celebrating the small wins. I've talked about that before. Celebrate the small wins because they lead to the big wins. And small wins could be honoring the commitments you make to yourself. And so what that looks like is when you say you're going to get out of bed, you get out of bed. When you say you're going to go and meet up with a friend, you go meet up with a friend. When you say you're going to go outside and create movement in your day, you go and do that. And you go back to starting small And so a reminder for you is that where you start is going to be where you end up. This stuff compounds into those bigger wins for these small wins. And so it's literally physically celebrating it. I've talked about this habit before of celebrating the effort and celebrating putting the reps in. It's acknowledging with your body that you are doing something that you want more of. And how I do it now is I tap both my shoulders, raise my arms up. I go, yeah, like, let's go. Like, that's my way of celebrating. But it could be different for you. And how it started for me was just like a woo. That's how I got started. But celebrating those small wins can help you to bounce back, create that momentum. It doesn't have to be weeks. It doesn't have to be months. It could be days, but it just varies. Everyone, it can be different for everyone. And I go back to this quote from John Butcher, someone I admire, is that there is no one right way, but there is a right way for you. And it's figuring out what that looks like for you, for what's your timeline based off of different situations. So as you continue to breathe in, taking all of that in and breathe out, it's thinking, what are the small wins that you're going to have for yourself today to build that momentum? Movement, coming back to working out, lifting weights, resistance training of some form. That is such a powerful place to start if you aren't yet to the level where you can take the action that you know eventually you're going to have to take to make the changes in your behavior and your habits. Coming back to movement and connecting back to the body in that way is really powerful. When I do that and I'm like getting some push-ups in, I feel strong. I feel powerful. I feel capable. And so that can help me to connect back to that confidence within myself, to tap back in, to then take the next action of like, okay, I had this workshop where no one showed up at, and I remember those days. And it's like, all right, I'm going to get back in it. I'm going to put on another workshop. Or for you, if it's like, I didn't take that work opportunity where I had to speak up on stage or speak in front of the group, I'm going to take the next one. And then you have that next one come in and you move forward and you take it. And so it's remembering from there, after you do that, celebrate again the win. Celebrate that win. And so as you continue to breathe in and breathe out, connecting back, noticing what other sensations are coming up in your body. I want to share another one with you. And this is actually, so I went to ChatGPT, I asked, and the second one it said was focus on the small wins. And then the other one was move your body, was number 5. And then another one I want to share with you is with this one, it was like the last one it put was detach from outcomes. And how I want to share that with you is to not focus on the end goal, but focus on the inputs. What are the repetitions of the habits that you can work on to build the momentum? Focus on momentum building right now in order to then bring your awareness and your attention once you get to a certain level to then focus on the goals. Like you can bring back like those results and get excited about that, but then always come back to like putting in the reps. It's like that moment where you're just like digging it can feel like you're digging the hole and then you're able to look up, make sure that like there isn't any storms coming in and keep digging. Like it's that kind of that vibe. And so it's that reminder for you too, is like continue to focus on putting in those reps and then taking those moments to be able to look up and just see what's going on around you and make sure that you're on the path that you want to be on. And it's remembering both is so important in that journey, in that process. And then from there, you just keep stacking those and keep building from there. So let's take one more deep inhale and then release. And I want to recap it for you. You can take this moment to open your eyes. If you have your eyes closed, you can come back into the space. But a few things to remember. One is that this is temporary for you. This is not your permanent reality. You can move through this. It's remembering then to understand what was going on in that specific situation. To give yourself space by reconnecting with your body. So reconnecting with your body, noticing the situation, what could be then the change in the behavior to get the message that the emotions are trying to tell you and make those necessary changes to the habits. And then it's noticing, what is your capacity right now? Is it to be able to take that action? Or do you need some space and time? That could be just a day, it could be a week, to then build momentum. And how you can do that is building the momentum by celebrating the small wins, honoring your commitments, starting there, and then creating movement, moving the body, resistance training, strength training. With that resistance training, coming back to your body and noticing how powerful you are, how strong you are, how capable you are, and then building upon that momentum over time to then make those changes that are necessary for you through the messages, and then continuing to move to the next levels of life. Because again, it is like that video game for life. It's like you're just moving on to those next levels. It's an ongoing process. And then it's coming back to those habits that are going to be energizing for you, reconnecting to your burnout proof habits. And if you don't know what those are yet for you, you can go to a few other conversations that are here to identify what those are and come back to them in these moments. And what I want to tell you is that if you haven't heard it yet today, I believe in you. You have the capabilities as a human being to make this happen for yourself, to bounce back after losing your confidence. And again, it's a reminder, it's just you've forgotten it, to tap back into it. And to let you know that it doesn't happen overnight. It's going to take some time, but you can notice changes to the body sensations as you're going through this journey. And it's a reminder to you as well that you got this.